All right, gents, we've got Mr. Mark Parkinson on the Zoom. He's finished 9 months in the fat loss code, got a fantastic result. He's going to share his results with us. Mark, how did you get on?
Yeah, I loved it overall, to be honest. It was tough at the start, but in the first 12 weeks, I lost, I think, 27 pounds. And then I moved into sort of the phase two sessions. And that was more about sort of transitioning from what I learned in the first sort of 12 weeks into how to make that sort of stick for the next, well, not just 12 months, but for the rest of my life. Um, And I think that's the big thing that was different for anything that I'd done from weight training or from fitness stuff in the past. The big thing that was a change with working myself, Gav, is that you actually live that 12 weeks and you really learn from that 12 weeks, the granular sort of calorie counting, the steps, getting it all in. But it then gives you the skill set to be able to then go, okay, I actually know how to maintain this if I want to going forward. So I know that since finishing working with yourself, I have put a couple of pounds back on, but then I can manage that quite easily now by going, oh, okay, let's have a quick look at what I've been doing. Have I been tracking the same as I would do? No. Okay, well, that's probably why it creeps back up a little bit. Let's sort of bring in a little bit of discipline again, and let's move back into some of the good habits that I created in that 12 weeks.
And that's it. And you just hit the nail on the head. And just to give everyone some context, I always say to everyone when they first join the program, I don't really care what someone does in 12 weeks. What can they maintain over 12 months? Now, of course, we want to lose as much weight as we can. And you lost to 27. But the key is nearly 10, maybe even close to 11 months down the line now.
Yeah.
You've maintained exactly what we lost in the first 12. And that's the key. Because everyone can, I say, can white knuckle, everyone can train 5 days a week and do an aggressive calorie deficit for maybe 2 or 3 months. They lose a bunch of weight, but if they can't maintain what they did in that first 12, they're going to put it all back on again. So, what do you think was, apart from the obvious, what do you think enabled you to get that result in the first 12 weeks that you possibly haven't been able to do previously?
I think some of the accountability helped a lot at the start. The group's great together with everybody, as well as the coaching calls that we sort of set up. But I think the key part to it is accountability, Gav, and that was, I suppose, in the secondary phase for me was something that sort of dropped off a little bit for myself, and it was kind of me trying to learn to be a little bit more accountable to myself. Um, and actually, interestingly enough, I've just kicked off a little, not necessarily a 12-week sort of session, but a bit of a drop phase again at the moment. And getting back down to sort of only maintaining 1,750 calories for myself, setting those sorts of goals and understanding why I'm doing it, etc. Um, it all sort of comes back to that same level of motivation. And the why for me to do this at the beginning was quite strong about being there for my kids and making sure that I have a healthy lifestyle that they can replicate as they grow up as well. That was quite really important for me, especially considering I was at that point, like as well, nearly 30 pounds heavier than where I was. So yeah, those were my reasons of doing it. And I think once you've sort of justified the why and then subsequently sort of have an idea that you've got the accountability to do it and the knowledge then that backs it up to do it, and
Yeah.
then the proof that you can see other people are doing it and or either already on further on down the phases than you are or have done already the journey that you're into, it helps a lot.
Yeah.
It
Well,
helps a lot to
just
be able to.
explore that a little bit. Tell everyone about the support because obviously, you know, when someone comes into the program, most people, not necessarily you, but most people are quite nervous that it's not going to work because they've tried many things before. And when they come into the program, they realize there's 15, sometimes 20, even at one point, there was 25 guys in the group, all on the same journey. Tell everyone how important that sort of support and the structure is for you getting the result that you got.
Yeah, it's been really important. I think the accountability. There were a few really strong characters when I joined the Fat Loss Code. And they were really supportive. So when you're looking at saying what protein powder should I be getting, what creatine should I be looking at getting, how do I get through the DOMs for the first sort of time, those sort of situations where you're like, okay, I'm in pain for days at this point, and it's like this is rough. But at that same time, you think, okay, yeah, been there, we know where it's at. Or then you start to go, okay, people are telling me that I'm losing weight and I look great. And then there's like my mum, for me, for example, she turned around and said, oh, don't lose too much. You don't want to get you sort of getting too
That's it.
big and
Yeah,
muscular or anything like that. And it's like, well, no, just let me try and be healthy, right? She's always been a feeder. Um, so so yeah, that's kind of the support that you're getting and the knowledge that from other people of how it works and the benefits that it can have.
awesome, man. And look, but just obviously you knew how you were feeling before, but
Mm.
that 27 pounds is one thing on the scale. But how do you feel different to when you first started the program?
Energy levels are completely different, right? I think, and you'll remember this, Gav. I know it's a while since we talked about this in particular, but when I first started, and this is just a thing that's helped me really recognize the energy change um, for my in general, right? When I first started the program, and I had done a little bit of running beforehand, but I used to be able to run a 5K at about 34, 33 minutes at best. And when I was at the peak of where I'd done my strength training and I was doing a lot of the weight loss at the same time, I think you actually did a little bit of a challenge for me at the time. I think you said, "Oh yeah, you've been doing a lot of weights on your legs and everything else. Go and do yourself a new 5K and see where you come out." And I did it in 26 and a half minutes. And that was over the space of what, just over 12 weeks, I think, in that time. It was after I'd finished the first 12-week
Eight
session.
minutes, 8 minute better.
And I'd shaved 8 minutes off my 5K running. And that just in itself was like, okay, I'm significantly fitter than I was before. But again, with the kids, you see it, it's like, yeah, I'll go out and bike ride, I'll go and do whatever. I'm no longer out of breath. I'll just go and just, I don't even think twice about going out and having a walk or just anything. There's nothing from a energy restriction for me anymore whatsoever at all.
So good to hear, man. Look, and if there was someone watching this video, potentially going to join the program, I speak to quite a few people each week. Some join, some don't. What
Mm.
would be the one piece of advice you would say to someone that was sitting on the fence to push them potentially in the right way?
Um, Well, first off, it works, right? That's one thing that does help. But secondly, it's also understanding your reasoning behind it, right? Really reflect for yourself on why you want to make the change and make sure that that why is strong enough for you to really commit to it and then become accountable. Once you've got that behind you and once you know that that's what you need to do, then the guidance from yourself, Gav, and everyone else in the group will get you where you need to be.
Awesome, man. Awesome. Last question, my man. I know you're busy. Uh, Someone watching this again, thinking of investing, would you say it's been a good investment on your part?
100%.
Simple as that. We don't need to say anything else. Mark, you've been an absolute gent. Thanks for being in the program, mate. Really great to have you. Sorry to see you leave. Unfortunately, every relationship comes to an end, and
Good.
we did what we signed up for. We got you the result. Hopefully, you've learned everything that you can, take things to the next level. Chaps, if you're looking to lose weight, do what Mark did. Let's book a 15-minute call. We'll have a little chat. On that call, I will tell you exactly what we're going to do in the fat loss code. Here's the difference. The thing is, you won't believe that that's the truth. So you might want some extra help. But go to gavgillibrand.com or find me on LinkedIn, the best place to find me. Mark, been an absolute gent, mate. Thanks a lot.
Cheers, Gav.